أجمعين. يروي الإمام أحمد في مسنده بسند حسن عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه. Tonight's hadith is from the collection of Imam Ahmad. It's a sound chain of narration, and it's narrated to us by Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه, who said, أن رجلا شكى إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قسوة قلبه فقال له رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن أردت تليين قلبك فأطعم المسكين وامسح رأس اليتيم. A man came to the Prophet ﷺ and complained about the state of his heart, the hardness of his heart, the lack of connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to soften your heart, then you feed the poor, feed the needy, and wipe over the head of the orphan. And it's a beautiful hadith, and we've been talking about the heart for a number of weeks. We've talked about why it's important to purify your heart. We've talked about things that spoil or harden the heart. We've also talked about things that soften the heart, that are connected more to acts of worship. And the Prophet ﷺ is telling us in this hadith, it's not limited to acts of worship to soften your heart. It also, you can do certain things like help members of the community, vulnerable members of the community, be there for them, show them compassion, support them in different ways, and that will soften your heart as well. So the Prophet ﷺ said, help the needy, bring comfort to those who are vulnerable, like the orphans, ease people's pain, right? And subhanAllah, in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned two aspects. There's physical support, and there's also social or emotional support. And these are two concepts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about through the Quran, actually. Right? كَلَّا بَلْ لَا تُكْرِمُونَ الْيَتِيمَ وَلَا تَحَاضُونَ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمَ وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. So concept of supporting the orphan, right? Or encouraging or urging people or society to help those who are in need. And so these things, and these are symbolic to, fulfilling the vulnerable community members' needs, essentially, whether physical or emotional, will bring humility to someone's heart. They'll soften someone's heart. They'll bring them gratitude. And especially in today's world where we're suffering from a disease that hardens people's hearts, and that is self-centeredness. It's all about who I am, what are my needs, my feelings, my struggles, my concerns, me. And this hadith teaches you otherwise. If you want to fix that, don't focus on me. Go help other people who need it. This is the solution. So in actual reality, yes, we are helping people who are vulnerable, but this medication or this recipe is actually meant to help us more than to help them. And when you focus on other people's struggles and you're there for them, you see what they're experiencing, you realize my problems aren't that big. My problems aren't that difficult or hard, because what these people are going through is a lot more. So it actually starts to help us. And it's beneficial for us, not in just the rewards with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but in our mental health, in the state of our hearts and so on. And so, inshallah, I encourage myself and everybody to practice these things. Volunteer in soup kitchens, or cook a meal and distribute it to the poor and the homeless in London. They're all over the place. If you drive late at night or before Fajr, you will see people in this cold living outside. Right? Go to the food bank, help out there. Volunteer for Big Brother, Big Sister, where they'll connect you with people who are orphans. Actually, just go to the MRC. The MRC's got a list of Muslim orphans who need support. And if we can't take them in, at least we spend time with them. And in today's world, it's so easy to help those who are in need by clicking a button and donating. But this hadith is not, this hadith is saying build an actual physical relationship. Connect with them in person. Because being virtual can only do so much. But to actually be there with them will change people's hearts and will bring us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and grant us the hearts that are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and that are humble, inshallah, and that purify of the diseases. I hope that was beneficial. يروي الإمام أحمد في مسنده بسند حسن عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال أن رجلا شكى إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قسوة قلبه، فقال له رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: إن أردت تلين قلبك فأطعم المسكين وامسح رأس اليتيم. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.